You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, that's right, we're getting back into that independent comic book world. We have a power couple in his house today. What? They are murdering the game right now with some independent comic books via Life on Saturn Comics. This is the ultimate power couple. Let me introduce Dom and Lydia. What's up? Welcome to the Comic Crusaders podcast. Happy to have you. I got the pleasure to meet Lydia as she was hustling, and I mean hustling, at the Independent Comic Creators Con in Connecticut. About a month ago. I mean, she was murdering it with my people's over at Lesson Known Comics. A big shout out to my homie Mark out there. So Lydia, a pleasure to see you again, and introduce me to your man right here. What's popping? He wasn't there.
He was also hustling in a different way. He was making his rounds, meeting the other creators at the event.
I was handing out zines, making connections. I met every single person who was tabling at that event.
But this is this is my best friend, my business partner, and my husband, Dominic.
There we go. Big Dom in the house. Yo, salute. A power couple in the business. Yo, what up, Big Pedro? What's up? That's right. It's not Epa, that's Mexican. It's Huepa for us Puerto Ricans and Colombians, all right? So with that, we got to do what we got to do. We love ourselves a good origin story. So for the first time, I'm not going to ask about a romance, but a romance. But before we do all that, I need origin stories. So ladies first. Lydia, tell me a bit about yourself, where your OG from, and most importantly, what was the first thing you ever fell in love with in fandom?
In the fandom, okay. All right. So I grew up in El Campo, like here in northern New York. And I lived all over New York State in my formative years into early adulthood, and returned here to the city because we have a family, estate here. So I'm here in the Bronx, where my grandparents started us out.
Yes. All right.
Not here. But my family is first and second generation Americans. And I am both first and second because my father came from the DR. And my mother her parents would have been actually technically not migrants because Puerto Rico. And then for the fandom, I think I just remember seeing like my first Studio Ghibli movie, like when Spirited Away came out in 2001. That was a huge event, and it's my first time like really loving anime comics or anything like that. And I did used to read like Sunday funnies and things like that, but watching that film for the first time, like I was like just fascinated with the world, wanted more of it, was like daydreaming about that world all the time. So, and I still very much love Studio Ghibli, and then also of course Pokemon. Like,
all right, but I'm early generation Pokemon. Those first couple of seasons, when I was watching it as a young teenager, and a big salute to the BX amazing creators coming out of there. So yep, and Studio Ghibli, funny you got into it via anime, but I mean via cartoons. Like I see most girls get into it via an actual manga book. So kind of cool that it was the cartoons that navigated you, and kind of I can understand now where I'm seeing things where I see them back. So Big Dom in the building, baby. Talk to me about you. Where you OG from and your first love, besides your lady.
So I'm also from the North Country, northern New York, near the border of Canada, and
way up north.
Yep, where there's a lot of snow, including still right now there'd be snow up there, I'm pretty sure.
Some parts.
So yeah, my first my way into fandom was through my first comic, which was a Spider-Man versus Craven. When I was a little kid, I
Oh,
was like
cool.
maybe 5 or
Oh, wait a
something.
minute. You got that Spider-Man story when Craven was, like trying to murder Spider-Man, and he himself was kind of on a suicide quest. That one?
I believe so. I believe so. I was a
Jeez,
kid, so
bro.
I didn't process it like that. But
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah,
I know. Oh yeah, now if you please reread it, you're gonna be like, holy fuck, this is sick stuff.
yeah.
We
But
art. I mean,
it came into my life at the perfect time. I needed comics when I was a kid, and yeah.
Craven's Last Hunt. Yeah, that was my John, yo. Let me tell you, yo, great story. Awesome. So I'll continue with you here. Now, talk to me. Here you are in your fandom, a young man all the way up north, snowbound, if you will. Did you have a tribe of fans? A tribe. I mean, a fellow fans of the culture, or were you kind of a lone wolf?
Uh, Yeah, so it's hard to say because there's no comic shops up there up north. I mean,
Okay.
most towns don't have a comic shop. The first town up north I ever lived in that had a comic shop was Plattsburgh, New York. They had Fantastic Planet, and it's a great shop to go to. But most of my life, I only had access to comics through like Wizard magazine,
Oh, you
or
said
if
Wizard,
I go
man.
to Kinney Drugs, the drugstore. There's like maybe some comics on a spinner racks. It was usually Punisher up north,
Thank you for
or
saying drugstore, because most people would have thought a different type of dealer. You know what I mean? Hey.
yes, a pharmacy. Uh, and of course newspaper comics and
Yeah,
dollar
me too.
stores whenever they sold packs at dollar stores. So like I never had updated comics, and therefore me and my friends, we were mostly like we watched the cartoons and the movies and stuff like that, and that's where we got all of our updated knowledge. But I just get comics whenever I could, but I probably had the most comics of all my friends. So I think I was alone in that, like especially when I was growing up, it wasn't cool to be a comic nerd yet.
Yeah, it wasn't cool, but you were the boss nerd of your hood, period, and that's what it was. You were the top of the chain amongst your friends in the nerddom, and that's okay. It's
Yes.
a good thing. All right. Now, I love how you also mentioned the Sunday funnies. All right.
Hmm.
Big shout out, Daniel. What up? What up, Daniel? As Lydia mentioned, so let me go to Lydia real quick. What was your favorite Sunday funny?
Oh, I I don't know that I had a favorite, but there was one that I was always just like, "What?" Like, always trying to get the joke and, like, almost never. I don't know if this is a compliment, a compliment really, but it just stuck with me because I was, like, always trying to understand it, was the Family Circus,
Oh
and they would
yeah, yo,
also
great stuff.
they'd often do, like, one panel ones, and it would just be, like, a scene, and then the joke would be in the scene, but it would go over my head probably because
Yeah,
I don't
at a
know.
certain age, if you read it, it definitely would. You had to have a parent, and let me tell you, I would give that to my uncle because my uncle was very cool. Big shout out, Uncle Vic, and he'd have a big laugh and then try to explain it to me. I said, "Oh, okay, I'm still a kid. I don't get it yet." But now as an adult, I'd be like thinking back on shit he told me. I'm like, "Damn, he was brutal."
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, man. All right, so all right. So let me get back to Dom here. So he knew you were a fan. You know what I mean? Kind of one wolfish, but not. And you were the leader of the pack, though. You know what I mean? You were the leader of the wolf pack. So how did that kind of lead to you starting getting creative, if you will?
Um, I think my creativity came from just from daydreaming to try to like mentally not be in the environment you're in and stuff like that. um and just so I disappeared onto paper for a long time, and i'm not I'm not exactly sure what made me start drawing, but I know that my first coloring books were Garfield, Dragon Ball Z, and X-Men, the 90s X-Men.
Oh,
And
cool.
I just remember tracing those coloring books over and over and over again. And I still have one of those coloring books, the X-Men one, but yeah, I don't know what led me to draw it. I have no idea.
Bro, I'm about to be 49 next week. Look at all the coloring books I got. I mean, I'm all about it, man. I love to color. I do my thing. I have fun. I do the stupid little activity like I'm fucking 5 years old. I don't give, yes, you see duplicates because they're actually differently branded, weirdly enough. So yeah, it's almost like I'm collecting them.
Heck yeah.
But I do this stuff. I mean, why not, man? We gotta find peace where we can. So so Lydia, talk to me about you and your were you a lone wolf growing up in your fandom, especially as a girl in the BX, growing up, or did you have a tribe? What's popping?
There's always an older brother or an older cousin. My best friend's older cousin was like really into just the anime fandom in general,
Okay.
and like I learned about Cardcaptor Sakura, Evangelion, a bunch of other stuff that
Oh
I
damn.
don't think I was ever interested in Evangelion, but they got me on their trip back for my generation when they made Fooly Cooly or Fori Cory.
Oh, okay.
So the same creator, they got me, and then I also really loved Eureka 7, which was another creator coming back and making I don't remember what they did before, but that show specifically spoke to me. So that was older cousin. And then my brother really loved Dragon Ball.
Okay. Okay.
And I got to watch him play like Final Fantasy VII from start to end,
See,
and that was a
that's
treat.
how I know your siblings are definitely not as old as me because I never put people onto shows. That was an out thing in my era, in the 90s, if you will, 80s. My shit was Fist of the North Star, Violence Jack, Ninja Scroll, Urosa Kudoji, and shit like that. I mean, Urosa Kudoji is an adult, so kids don't be watching that shit without parents' permission, please. Don't blame me when you see some weird shit, bro. I mean, it's a wild ass movie, but yeah, that's the type of stuff that we were getting bootlegs at New York cons back in the day.
Mm.
I would go to some cons and there's a bootlegger like, yo, we got these animes before they were anything on videotape, and we got them home. I mean, Akira, I actually had the bootleg for that when it had come out. Yeah, yeah. I'm proudly saying I had a bootleg, folks. I do not endorse bootleg. I'm just saying, back in the day, it was what it was, what it was. You feel me? All right, bet. So you got tell me when you got creative with this. Because here you are, you're saying, you had your cousins, you had all the folks in your life introducing this to you. But what inspired you to kind of like, want to work in this?
Well, I'm a firm believer that all humans are creative. To be a human is to be creative. It's our
Real
greatest.
life is creative. Let me tell you, because we got to find creative ways to survive. Wepa!
We were created to be here. We all create. But when I like saw my father's portfolio, he went to an art high school, and he had like
Oh,
all his paintings and drawings from high school and college. And I just remember thinking like this.
yo.
I
So
wanna
wait,
do this.
inherited skills from Papa Dukes. Wepa. All right. So
And
did you Papa do things with that, or he kind of just, went to school, did what he did, put it away, and it was just life?
pretty much,
I, that's the
he didn't
Latino
do
way.
anything with art, but he still does music. Like he used to write songs, and he still sings the songs that he wrote.
Is he
And
a bachatero? Not for
there was
nothing.
like Spanish pop, like 70s Spanish
Oh,
singer-songwriter pop music.
don't tell. I know already. My mom was a big fan. Those are the ones that I would be like, could you please change the channel? Anyway. Anyway, not for not no, but I dig that. I mean, that family energy of creativity and all. It's a wonderful thing. And unfortunately, as Latinos, this, ma. I'll ask Dom in a minute about his side of things. But as Latinos, they don't celebrate arts as something that's a feasible job. It's
Mhm.
like that's not job. You get a real job. That's not. So it's like I hate how Latinos, especially from the Caribbean, at least back in the day, used to shit so much on artistic capability not being something that you could make money from.
Yeah.
I mean, look at George Perez. He passed away as one of the greatest Puerto Rican comic book artists, but did Puerto Rico celebrate him? No.
Yeah, I
So
think
sad.
that's I mean, it's a cultural issue, and I think just in general, America feels the same way. Like they
No.
don't really. Well,
I
yeah,
don't think America do because we see so much celebration of all the
there is
American
some
culture of pop
celebration,
culture. Of pop
but
culture.
the artists that build it and the true creators often, unless you're like one of these gods that everybody has a
I
household
get
name
you.
in the
You know,
grave,
it's like if Lydia
they're
works
like
for Disney, it's not Lydia did it. Disney did it. So you get squashed by the name. I get that.
exactly.
I understand that.
Everything's
Yes.
corporatized, and then also just comics in general aren't held up as a high art form. Like coming from fine
Agreed.
art, if I want to submit comic pages to a gallery, they're going to say, no, we're not going to take that. That's comics. That's not art.
And that's their
Versus,
stupidity and ignorance because they don't understand the people we have. Come on, man. When you have Mobius doing art in
I
comics, this is
know.
Mobius. Like, are you fucking telling me that's not art? Like, are you nuts right now?
And there you go. He's French. In Europe, they call it the ninth art. Like, so if I have Europeans coming up to me and like appreciating my style of comic coloring or anything that I'm doing, like I value that, and it means a lot more to me. Because actually, that's one of the people I met at IC3. She's French, and I got to hear all about how many people read comics in France and all this, and it just blew my mind because it's a completely different perspective than having to justify why I exist to people here.
Wepa. And before we move on to the book, folks, I got a trailer. I got some preview pages for y'all to check out. It's gonna be fire. But before that, you mentioned IC3, and I was very happy to be a part of that. And I know both of you
Same.
said you were there. I didn't get to meet Dom there, but I saw Lydia because she was hustling behind that table, and I had to see my boy Mark. But talk about that experience at the first independent comics creator con in Connecticut and the way that they did it. Because for me, I was uberly impressed and so happy to meet so many people that I interviewed before. And again, I got to meet Lydia and so many more new folks. So it's like, yo, so proud. I mean, tell me about your experience at the event. I'll start with Dom on this one.
I personally like put it up there with like my favorite comic event I've ever went to. Like a lot of times, I've mentioned this before with other people, but like a lot of times you go to these comic events and I don't know if it's just the competition, the spirit of competition, but like a lot of artists, they just don't like give you the attention. They don't feel very friendly, But at this convention, like every artist just felt like family or felt like I've been friends with them forever. It was just like such an effortless connection with everybody at this con. It was like unreal. I've never been to a con like this before, you know.
Agreed, agreed.
And,
Because let me
and
tell
us
you,
artists, we have to stick together more because AI is coming, so we can't be snobs to one another. We need to share each other's work and stuff.
oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, AI is a conversation to be had. Next year, we're doing a Independent Comics Creator Con, and we're gonna have talks about AI and how to protect your artistry and all from being sucked up into the machine to be
Hmm.
displayed elsewhere. I mean, AI for me again. I don't hate it, but I'm not gonna say it's the best because it does have its problems. So for a creative sense, when it comes to writing, artistry, yeah, we need to do better on that motherfucker. But when it comes to business tools, shit. I mean, you cannot beat AI on business tools. I mean, and I understand people will be losing jobs, but I'm just fucking saying, like, as a business tool where you could create reels and you could, put in your thought and it can help expand it. It's actually it helps. It's not
Hmm.
horrible. You know what I mean? Again, it's like when digital comics came out, right? Oh my God, print is gonna die. No, it hasn't because I love to smell ink. You know what I mean? Yeah, digital has its uses, but it didn't kill the industry yet. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I don't think it ever will. People like to collect things, and you cannot collect something that's digital at the end of the day. It's just
Mhm.
a hard drive. Your computer dies, you lost your shit. You know what I mean? They
Yep.
cancel your account, you lost your shit. So what's the point? Print and physical product will always be the best, and that's what I loved about you guys too. Because at that show, I'm telling you, Lady was pulling out books left and right and swag, like yo, check it out, check it out. So, folks, you want to know what I'm talking about before we get into this amazing book and the origins of it and everything, the story. I got a trailer. Check it out right now.
20 years ago, our world began flooding. Rotating closer to the sun, what's left of society remains on the last 4 islands. Food is scarce. Trust is scattered. People are dying. and ancient creatures ravage what's left. But worst of all, our time is running out.
Wepa, you saw that, folks? Woo! I mean, if you're not interested, I mean, just by seeing that, seeing those beautiful colors, that beautiful art, we're about to learn more about this dope book. Actually, it's a Kickstarter that's live right now. I mean, I'm gonna show you that in a second. So before I even pull that onto the screen, let's talk a little bit about what is Life on Saturn Comics before we get into FENNEC. So talk to me. What is LOS? I mean, when did this start? Talk to me. And even before that, oh shit, wait a minute, how dare I? I always talk about the promance, but this is more than a promance. This is a romance. Wait, my folks, this is a power couple. So I need to know, and let me get the truth first, and then I'll get your story, Dom. So how did you guys meet?
Well, I rescued him from the North Country. Like, he was trapped in Malone.
He was trapped in the snow and you dug him out. I get it. Okay.
I dug him out from the snowflakes, and I brought him here where he can experience much more of the world.
La vida, some good food, a little bit of warmth every couple of months. There we go. I love it, bro.
Yeah. Winter doesn't last 9 months here, so.
Hey, wepa, getting too hot right now. Hey.
But we were friends first, then we fell in love.
Okay.
But it was art, music, I guess, and art too, because we'd do drawings. We kind of just did all kinds of stuff together in high school creatively.
Oh, y'all went to high school together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, high school sweethearts. Hey, look at this. So what happened? Was it in the lunchroom? Was he drawing by himself and you passed by your tray and like, oh, I like your art? Like, what happened here?
It's actually homeroom because he's Manette, I'm Mieses, so we were in the same homeroom alphabetically.
Okay. Homeroom. Oh my God, I haven't heard that in years. Yeah. I mean, as so long as you go to homeroom in the morning and in the afternoon, you could cut out in between. At least for me.
I don't know. They took attendance every class, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they did take attendance every class for us. But no, I found him there, and then we always did creative stuff together, and we had real world jobs for a minute, where we were juggling like that, and creative stuff, and we always found time for creative stuff, but we wanted it to be like everything at some point. So slightly before the pandemic, I decided I was going to quit my factory job and that we'd do whatever we could with our savings to invest in equipment and just continue to do comics full time as best to our ability as we could, and that's what we've been doing.
I love that. All right, Dom, is that how you remember it, or is she fibbing to us?
No, that's pretty much it. We've been together since the 11th grade, so like
11. Salute,
like
yo.
15 years.
Getting there, yeah.
Almost 15 years, yeah.
That's
and
beautiful, guys. Great.
Yeah. And Life on Saturn just started out as our music name, and then it became every time we don't want to depend on somebody else, we learn how to do it. So it started out with music. We learned how to play several instruments each, and then we got sick of waiting for people to record us. So we figured out how to do that ourselves, invested in the equipment, and then eventually it was like we needed music videos, and so we invested in that, and we learned how to film ourselves, and then we started making short films and commercials and stop motion, and then we settled on comics later on because comics make more money than those other two things.
But you know what? Involve all three and make music videos of your comics, cosplay as your characters and do skits in New York. That's what I suggest. Let me tell you.
We made the commercial that you just played.
Yep, isn't it You see, folks, and I'm gonna give you something else, folks. Where I'm gonna give you some nice inside look to the current project before I start showing off that Kickstarter. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show it off real quick before we get into this. 'Cause I just want to show uninterrupted art. But yo, folks, check it out. All right, 32 hours, not days, not minutes. 32 hours. So I know you guys are getting your tax returns, so don't give me no bullshit. Not a Comic Crusaders podcast where we're supposed to love indie. And if you are an indie lover, if you support independent companies, you know, especially from dope power couples like this, you better start doing this. All right. 32 hours ago, a big salute to the 48 backers involved. Much love. And with that, yo, they were only looking for 600, but they're currently at 2,091, baby. But let's make it rain. Let's get to 3 racks in 32 hours. Let's make that happen. All right. So before we do all that, let me show you some of the insights that you may not see on this. All right. So let's get into that move. That's right. There we go. I love how technology doesn't want to cooperate with me. But look at this. Look at the colors, the vibrancy, the panel work. I mean, this is for chapter 4. Yeah, I'm starting you later rather than early. Why? Because you shouldn't be that teased because you need to buy this book and support indie. All right. So talk to me. I mean, look at these pages. Look at these colors. Talk about FENNEC. What is FENNEC? When did this idea get born? And I mean, how many issues? Talk about this project. I mean, questions. All right, so let's start, of course, with the birth of the project. Either or on this one.
So the birth of the project is actually how we got into lesser known comics accidentally. This anthology right here is called Tales from the Dispatch.
I remember that. Yeah, okay.
And it was lesser known comics was teaming up with Snowy Works and the Tales from the podcast something Indie Comics Dispatch. But yeah, they were making an anthology and we wanted to submit a story. So I've been wanting to make a tokusatsu story for a while. And so I wrote FENNEC, and FENNEC was originally just a 10-page story that we submitted. And we were one of the few stories in the book that won a printing credit for having a good story or something.
Woo!
And that printing credit was with lesser known comics. And then we got into there. And
how did you meet lesser known though? How did you meet Mark? Because I know I met Mark because I was looking for guests, and one day he said, "Yeah, I want to be on the podcast." I said, "No doubt, we support indie." And all of a sudden, he's on the show, and then I go to the show indie, and I hear somebody say, "What?" from a corner, and it's Mark, and then I meet Lydia, and it was fire. Look at this.
Well,
sponsored by lesser known comics.
Woo, baby.
Yeah, well, this is how I met Mark. I messaged everybody involved in this book because I didn't know how to find. I wanted to find someone to print my story with, FENNEC, and I had no idea who. And then I was like, well, maybe I should find the people who made this book because that's the first appearance of FENNEC. And Mark, lesser known comics. I didn't know what it was, but he was the first person I messaged, and he's like, oh, well, coincidentally, I have a group of people and we all make comics together. And then he invited me to be a part of the group, and that's how we got in. Yeah, it was through FENNEC, the story that this Kickstarter is for. But so FENNEC it's a tokusatsu story, which is Japanese for special effects, but it became its own genre. So anything that's henshin heroes like Power Rangers or kaiju like Godzilla, that is tokusatsu. And it would be Ameritoku because we're here in America. But so it's about a world that's rotating closer to the sun, and the polar caps are melting, and it's flooding their planet, and there's only 3 islands left, and kaiju have melted from the polar caps, and they're attacking the 3 islands left.
Oh, damn.
So if that's not enough problems, you've got the drama amongst the people who are left, and our main characters through generational trauma have discovered they have an ancient power, and they're going to use that to save their people. And I like to address different things like that every time I make a story. Like for our story, Hunter Duck, it's depression is the focus, and through FENNEC, generational trauma is the focus here.
Yeah, and I also see global warming because you're scaring me. You're telling me if the polar ice caps melt, Godzilla may actually exist and run amok in New York. Holy fuck, bro! Don't scare me. And then this shit right here. I mean, I'm from New York. I've seen nothing but these creatures back in the day as a young man. Now that I'm in Massachusetts, I have not seen one in years, thank God. But yo, I'm sorry, but I may be hungry. Yo, you messed me up here. All I got was a flashback of that Instagram thing when I seen some people barbecuing mice in Queens somewhere. You know what I mean? You know what? I give credit to the Bronx. I've never seen mice getting fired in the Bronx, but Queens, y'all sick, man. What's wrong with y'all?
Well,
But this
perfect,
book
because
is
that's
beautiful, man.
what's going on in this scene is they're fighting over a rat that they want to eat because there's food is scarce.
Yo. I mean, is the rat red meat or white meat?
Um,
I don't know.
Yeah, good answer. That means you have not tried, neither have I. So thank you.
I assume at the end of the world, meat is meat.
Yeah, food is food. I get you. I mean, hey, even a rat might look like a good hot dog, right? Who knows? Jesus. All right, but look at this again. So talk to me. What is it about indie comics journey, FENNEC? I mean, look at this beautiful book. Talk about building a team as well. I mean, is this just you guys? Is it a team? Talk to me. Like, how did you build this book? Because you guys are coming in to build stuff, right? Y'all did stuff for yourselves, but how did you learn the comic book trade, if you will?
well, I'm always still learning, always a student, always wanting to know more. But I YouTube a lot of things, listen to a lot of people on YouTube. Lesser known comics is a valuable resource. I often ask for advice from the creators that are a part of
Yeah.
that group.
They're a family full of people ready to help you for sure.
Mhm.
Any
Oh,
questions?
they want to help Comic Crew. I mean, they gave me a wonderful idea they want me to partake in, and I'm thinking about it. I just got to get past my C2E2 thing with the heroic awards, and blessing Indian. After that, I could go back to concentrating, much more on this idea that Mark presented, because I definitely would love to be involved in doing something that's going to bless and help the community, and I want you guys involved because, you know, the power couple that's doing their thing. I mean, you got a kick-ass Kickstarter. This is fire. This is what we need to do. This is what it's about. This is indie comics, baby. Man, look at the beauty of the book. So talk to me about building that dream and building a comic.
So like you said, we started with those 10 pages, but he's ballooned it out to like 2 arcs. The first arc
Ooh.
is chapters 1 through 5. We're looking at chapter 4 now. And chapters 1 through 5 collectively are going to be about 150 pages altogether. So the volume 1 itself is going to be, 150 plus pages. And I'm really proud of the first arc. It took a while to accomplish. I did manage to get through up to chapter 4 with my coloring, but Dom swooped in and saved me for chapter 5. Because chapter 5 is the chonkiest chapter. It's got like almost 50 pages in it. So he went with his alcohol Prismacolor markers and saved me from myself.
I colored all of chapter 5 and now she's currently lettering chapter 5. I mean, we are very close to being done this book. So when the Kickstarter's done in like 2 days, then it won't take too long for people to get their stuff.
Yeah. I have the fulfillment set for July, just to, to protect myself. I don't like to, gas people up and then the reward date comes and passes. I know that a lot of people, are forgiving, and they'll, sometimes you wait a year for things, but I set it out for July because I knew I'd still be editing and doing all
You
the
are
things.
so kind. Lydia, you're so kind. I'm still waiting for Rob Liefeld's Brigade #1, and this is over 10 years on a Kickstarter that I'm still waiting. So yeah,
I'm not
don't
Rob
be Liefeld.
I'm not Rob Liefeld.
Thank God. That means we get stuff on time. Liefeld, no hate, but where the fuck is my book, bro? Anyway.
I don't think people would be as forgiving with me if I made them wait 10 years.
Let me tell you, I saw Rob at a New York Comic Con. He had a huge line, and one of my guys said that I was with. I won't say his name because that's just evil. He was like, "Al, I dare you, asking for your book online right now." I said, "No, I'm not going to do that in person. Listen, I'll email him. I don't do things publicly. That's not what Comic Crusaders do." Even though I want my fucking book, I pay for it anyway. and I not want a refund. I paid for it, so give me what I paid for, and it should better be worth like it go. You know what? What did I pay? Like $15, I believe. So 10 years plus interest. What is that worth now?
Ooh, it's a good question. Maybe 25,
You
30.
know, I better get some extra goodies now. I mean, but again, I need this to look as sexy as this book does. I mean, look at this page here. The coloring, the artistry, everything, yo. Fuck. Beautiful book. Like,
I think
what? Mhm.
I think a lot about the palettes and how it breaks down across the page. Like, and that's something I'm learned from like YouTubers, just like listening to, I think it was coloring with Kurt Russell.
Okay.
I learned like a lot of what he would say not to do. And I've just found that really helpful. I was like, oh, definitely don't do this. And then like as far as like contrast, like learning about like the values and well, I already knew a lot of like art elements to begin with, but as it pertains to like illustrative coloring, how to implement it for like creating focal points and things like that. And sometimes I really feel like I need to think less.
Yeah, overthinking an absolute enemy. And to Awesome Source Radio, yeah, do catch the rewind because you need this book in your life. And as for your gerbils, I think they're in your house in Jersey. All right, that's right, bro. Don't make me blast you now, bro. Don't make me do that. But folks, you see this, right? Before we continue, because I'm gonna show you the Kickstarter now, and how much you gotta pitch in to make sure you get this in your life, because you need this. You need this. So make sure to please visit them first online at lifeonSaturnArt.com. The links are below, and of course on Instagram, Life on Saturn Comics. All right. So now, folks, I have to do it. We're going to be showing off this dope Kickstarter again. As I said, let me refresh just in case somebody may have. Listen, the last guest I had that had a Kickstarter while we were on, they made like $300 more while we were on. So
Oh, that's
come
awesome.
on, folks, make it rain. Come on, let's do this. All right, so 2091 of a $600 goal. Salute on being blessed. But again, it's FENNEC. I mean, look at that, yo. Look,
That's
talk to
our
me. Talk to me
that's our
about these
buddy
characters.
Reese. Our
Talk to
buddy
me.
Reese hooked us up. He
Whereabouts?
did the cover for our volume 1. He's the artist of Deuces Are Wild, another title in the lesser known comics catalog, and he's a New York City based artist, so he came in with his friendship and his talent.
Yeah, man, and the New York vibe. Woo, there we
And
go.
his appreciation for the story, because I let him read I think up to chapter 3, because you read further than anybody, because I didn't even have that ready for you fully too. But
Hey.
he the top character there, the menacing character at the top, of course,
This
is
guy?
Throw.
Okay.
One of our villains.
I
That's
love
our
my villains.
Yes. The monster next to her is from chapter 1. He's also being offered as a reward as like a little
Oh,
felt
wait a
kaiju head
minute.
charm.
Hey, move it on
Oh,
over.
that's
There you
right.
go. Oh, damn, that's an ugly motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Love it. That's exactly what you want in your keychain. Yes.
I think he's cute.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It reminds me of Blind Adam from Awesome Source Radio. If you could see, then he would
Oh,
agree.
Brian.
Yeah, he looks just like that.
He's
Love
a
it.
cute guy.
Hey, listen, everybody finds beauty in everything. Just because I say he's ugly doesn't mean that I say he's ugly. I mean, I would still put that motherfucker on my keychain because it looks cool. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm not the prettiest thing in the world, but hey, you know what I mean? I tolerate myself. It's okay. So, and look at, yo, what do you mean it follows? You're scaring me
It
because that
follows.
movie scared the shit out of me.
That is
You giving me that theme?
that is the title of chapter 1.
Oof,
So
oof.
you can get FENNEC in separate floppy comics, or you can get volume 1 of all 5 chapters together, which is the way I prefer it is read.
Oh, wait a minute.
And
Lydia is a boss. Every time you mention something, you guys are prepped. Look at her. Look at all this comic book goodness in their backboards and that pretty plastic. Where fuck? Ooh, that's right, Mark. Help all those books. I mean, look how gorgeous, y'all. Oof.
And these two covers, the
Oh
actual
wow.
covers, they just sold on our Kickstarter, the 11x17s.
Oh really? You saw the OG artwork on it? Cause that cover for #2, that is really attractive to me. I love the
Yeah.
colors on that, yo.
Thank you, thank you. It was colored with markers too.
Yo, really? Yo, who
Yeah,
did it?
Yeah.
Was it Lydia or was it you?
Oh, that's him.
Oh,
yeah.
that's him? Oh shit. Look at this power couple. Y'all kicking ass. Do I have to proclaim you guys the new Jay-Z and Beyonce of indie comics or what? What is the new power couple? Holy shit, yo. What is going on here? I love it. I love it. All right, but folks, let's get back to the project because again, we need to make it rain on this project. I mean, look at that dope cover there. That it official 2 as you just saw. I mean, it is fire. That I'm digging. I'm digging this so much. This is the poster. This is the T-shirt. This is everything right here. This needs to be a T-shirt though for sure. Because this is sick, sick. All right. And then look at this. Wepa, very Power Rangerish on how they look too. If I'll say. But I'm digging it, yo. I mean, Power Rangers is also kaiju's, if you will. I mean, and La Rata, the rat. No, don't show me no more rats, bro. Jesus. Look
So
at those claws, yo. It needs a manicure.
this cover here is done by Eli Five Stone, and he did a couple runs of The Tick. And
Wepa.
what's his personal comic? I forget, but his name is Eli Five Stone, Eli 5 and then Stone.
All right, so Eli Five Stone, you gotta excuse me because I can't remember things either. Because again, I do smoke weed. Yes, I openly admit that, and my short term is absolutely horrible.
That's all right. We're 420 friendly as well.
They nothing to be sorry about, baby. Say, all right, so let's see. Yep, the Tick in succession from the Tick's creator. I can't find, although he is a Massachusetts resident, like where I'm at. So
Look at
a
that.
big salute. He's in Topsfield. I'm in Webster. Yeah, that's right, yo. Comics lives in Mass. Let's do it. And New York and the East Coast. We rule. Let's start a new West Coast, East Coast, but it's gonna be about comics and not music. All right.
All right.
But look at this. I didn't see this one, but the fox. Oof.
That's
Oof.
fine.
This looks tough. This looks tough, yo.
So that cover was by another friend of ours named Bridget from northern New York, where we're from. So I had to get an artist from up north, and yeah, so she did this cover, and she's part of our first book we were ever a part of up north. There's a place called Plattsburgh, New York, and they had a book called Trashburg, and Trashburg
Hey.
is an anthology full of well, not all of them, but a bunch of artists from up
Wait
north.
a minute. Keep that up there for a moment. So basically, this is the first appearance of the Life on Saturn power couple, huh?
In Trashburg Comics, yeah, we're in every single
Love
issue
it.
of this.
Oh shit, folks! If you want to get the history now, because I know most people collect first appearances of characters, but also collect the first works of creators, and there we go. Get that Trashburg show to love, because these people will be making a difference in comics. I promise you. All right, they're working hard. When people come up with this type of tenacity, this is what they're doing. I mean, look at the design of the characters. Look how dope. And this Ibex Latina, because she got some hips. Wepa.
Well, she could be Afro Latina, that's for sure.
Yeah. Why not? Exactly. You know what I mean? I love it. I love the design of the characters. And what were the inspirations behind the characters' designs?
Well, like you were picking up on the notes of Power Rangers before. Dom's a huge Power Rangers fan.
Oh,
And
word.
all the Rangers are based on a different animal. So I wanted to pick animals that I don't see often, but I like. So FENNEC, the FENNEC fox, I really like that fox, and I like how huge his ears are. Even though his ears are not huge in the suit, but I just like
Yeah.
FENNEC foxes. I think they're cute. And I went with Ibex because I don't hear that name often, and I just think it's such a cool name for like a goat. And I didn't go with other animals that I like because they're just too cute. Like a capybara wouldn't have been a very good Power Ranger. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe.
Why not? When they open up their eyes and just look at you like this, you're just gonna fall, frozen. Like, oh shit, the cuteness.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But I mean, this is not too cute. Jesus Christ, yo! I'll never go fishing
Oh,
again
there's
if
my
I see some
girl.
motherfucker like that. My God, what, yo?
You know, Now that you see it, don't you think the felt is cute? Like, I took something that was like terrifying and made it kind of cute.
You know
Like,
what? Compared to okay, I'm with you now, Lydia. I am on Team Lydia. Yes, compared to that MF that I'm seeing on the page. Holy smokes, jeez, yo, my God! I mean, this motherfucker never seen a dentist in his life. I mean, what is going on? Yo, that's some scary looking shit, yo. And the fact that homie there is just has kind of a calm demeanor to him. Not me. If that was a Puerto Rican dude, I can't swim, so I would have drowned instantly. Like,
fun fact, those are actually my siblings.
At the
oh,
top.
word? Hey!
Yeah, fishing.
So
That was from a day we went fishing, and I just took pictures, and I was like, yeah, someday I'll draw this.
oh, that is dope. Love it, love it. And how do they feel that they're about to get eaten up by some monster? Jesus Christ, look at this.
Humorous. They think it's funny.
And I'm digging. I mean, look at this art, folks. I love independent creators, man. I mean, you know, they have more freedom. They're not struck by code, and you got to be much more expressive in the artistry. I mean, just look at this. This is fire, fire, and the coloring. Color. I'm a big coloring fan, so it's like you got to get me hooked on it. It got to be vibrant. You got to get me hooked. You know, it got to be eye candy for real. And this is definitely eye candy. Those are these Boston baked beans, Alexander the Grape, the red hots. This is what this is right here. Wepa, yo, love it. I mean, look at these designs. And you know, thank God I was not living in that building. It would have been horrible. But they probably would have tried to charge me the same rent even after it fell. You know, horrible.
Right.
Yo, but I mean, look at this. Look at the action sequences. I could see the anime with the lines. You know, oof.
Yeah, the anime influence.
Oh, and the lettering. Who's doing the lettering?
Well, that specific lettering right there, I did because it's part of the picture. But she normally does the lettering.
Oh, dope. I love how you did this over here because you really don't just read it, but feel it. Like, holy shit, this is no joke. Homie got hit hard on that wall.
That's a nod to the artists that I love at Image Comics. You know, like Eric Larson and Todd McFarlane, and you know, Liefeld, all of them. They all did stuff like that.
I've spoken to McFarlane and Larson. I don't want to speak to Liefeld until I get my book. Get my book and then I give you an interview. All right, so check. Oh man, and look at this. Definitely, you got that New York vibe too. Why he look like RZA almost? Y'all Wu-Tang fans. Oh shit, love it. Yo, this is cool. It's that coloring, man. And look at this again. The diversity of the characters, dope, yo. She looks dope. Dig it. So this is her outside of the costume without the helmet.
Yep, that's her name is Suro, the Ibex.
Suro the Ibex. Yep.
Dig it. And folks, we got rewards. So let's make it happen, folks. You know what I mean? You can start for as simple as $1 without a reward because who needs coffee every day? You know, you could throw in $1, you know what I mean, and do something good in support of independent creators. But if you're one of those that you need something, you gotta have something. You know what I mean? We're gonna start with digital at $5 a pop. You know, FENNEC issue #1 in digital. You know what I mean? Now, if you want to go and smell the ink, open it up to that center page and see them staples, baby. It starts as low as $10. You know what I mean? We got digital bundles. We got sticker bundles. They got FENNEC issues 4 and 5 for 20 Bs. You got the chapters 1 through 5 for 35. Uber deal. Perfect bond. Graphic novel form. I mean, you need that self-porn, folks. You need that self-porn. It is necessary that, you know, fill up themselves. Let me show something here before we keep proceeding. But you see their cells in the back. It is full with beautiful books, and we need you to do the same. You know what I mean? With this particular book and adding it onto that wonderful and beautiful shelf, folks. And again, you got Deuces Wild and FENNEC. You get even more of their projects starting at $50. Again, individual issues at $55. You got deluxe editions. I mean, they got the everything tier. I mean, everything. What is everything? Tell me what is everything.
Everything right now. Well, that wouldn't include the Trashbergs, unfortunately.
But it's all the books that we produced ourselves is in the everything tier. So that includes all of the FENNEC issues. It includes our first book that we self-made, the Rings of Saturn anthology.
Ooh, Rings of Saturn. I love it. Life on Saturn, Rings of Saturn. Hey, I love the themes.
7 stories, sci-fi and supernatural themes. We know all the authors that wrote, and then we were just doing multiple styles and 7 different stories.
Then Mana Kingdoms, which is the first book we've ever been commissioned to make by Mark Bridge. It's his story. And then Hunter Duck.
Hunter Duck.
Hunter
We've
Duck.
talked
All
about
right.
that already.
I need that one the next time I see you at a con for sure, because I love ducks, and you're talking to me about a hunter duck, and yo, okay, the cover is black and white, the inside too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that. I don't even know what to call it.
So it's like it's a black and white book, except for there's a flashback scene that I drew in color pencil.
Sure. Oh, so you kind of did reverse on how flashbacks do.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Dig it. Oh, what a beautiful. Oh my God. Fuck yeah, yo. Okay, I need this in my life.
We're gonna try and print it oversized too, because we saw at IC3 some people had those.
Yeah, at IC3 we saw people with 11 by 17 books, and I was like, oh, that's perfect because my book Hunter Duck has a lot of detail, but you can't see all the detail in that book. So I'm gonna make an 11 by 17 version of this.
Bro, bring me a treasury edition of that. I would love that, because I have a wall full of treasury. Let me see if I could just turn it over there real quick. You see, I got treasury editions on the wall. Let me bring myself up to the front. Hold on.
Hell yeah.
You see?
Oh,
Conan.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I got all the Conan treasuries. Because Conan is my boy. As you can see, I got. Then there's a show. Well, no, you can't really see it, but White Tiger. The first time he's in color. Justice League with the Puerto Rican flag. I even got the first appearance of White Tiger. In Kung Fu. Of course, we gotta celebrate our Puerto Rican characters, which there are not many of.
Yeah.
So very few, but I'm all about that. But yo, you bring me some treasury editions in comic book format, I'll be all about it, because I mean they're beautiful, as you say. As you just said, the art really pops. Now you see them on these big panels, like yo, I could really see this shit. Like yeah, so bro,
yeah,
please
we
do that.
have the artist edition of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man run, and that book is beautiful.
Oof. But I mean, folks, look at this. I mean, custom splash bomb duels. I mean, you got stuff that's already all gone. So no original art, none of that. Ugh.
No, there is. So
there is
the custom splash page for people who want to commission for a splash page. So basically, this is the one we sold recently. Somebody went and they ordered that tier, and they wanted a horror movie collage. So this is their custom splash page.
That is so sick, bruh. What the heck? I want this.
This is what you can get with that tier. You commission me to draw something in inks for $100, 11 by 17.
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stop fucking lying. Put that shit back up. Bring it back up over here. Wait a minute. You telling me you only charge $100 for that?
Yeah. Well, what's the tier say? 110 maybe, but
yo, that shit is gorgeous. I would have paid $200 for something like that. With everything you did there. That is beautiful, bro. Shit, bro. Great job. Yo, love it.
Shout out to Rich who bought this.
Yeah, again, this is what it is, folks. This is independent comics. I mean, beautiful. Isn't this a great looking book? You have an amazing power couple over here. We have 31 hours to go now. 31. It was 32 before. We just crossed that mark. So again, I know that you're gonna get your tax returns if you don't have it already. Listen, I know you guys are even saying for vacation. Fuck your vacation. This is the vacation when you sit down and read on the beach. You know what I mean? Or locally, and you can read this. This will take you someplace else. You know what I mean? 5 books in one, a nice fat graphic novel. Got that girth to it. You know what I mean? Come on, don't mess around, folks. This is what it is. This is what comics is about. This is the spirit of indie with an amazing power couple that is kicking ass in the game. So make sure to support. I'll be sharing the link below. All right. I mean, you see it over here. It is what it is. Make it happen ASAP. All right. Now, before we go, I don't want, we're almost here at an hour. I don't want to keep you guys that long because I need you guys to be making these books to make sure they get out on time. Come on now. So talk to me. I obviously I met you guys, at least Lydia at a con. Unfortunately, did not get to meet Dom. Hopefully, I will next time. And get you a beer and we could talk some comics. In person. But where are you guys going to be at next? if people want to, tune in and pick up some books physically, get those signatures, and talk to you guys in person about this wonderful, your publishing press and the wonderful books?
I'll have to plan that out better. I don't have like a little convention list right
You
now
gotta
because
get that list. Come on,
I'm
girl.
so concerned about hitting all my goals.
So
No, but you know what? Wait a minute. There's a salute to that. See that, folks? This is why you gotta support them. They want to make sure you get your book first before they even have any fun. If you look at that, that
it's
is
true.
motherfucking realness right there, yo. I dig. That's commitment. That's commitment. I dig it. I dig it.
We're looking to plan some stuff. A couple days ago we just did Bix in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, cool. How was that?
Yeah. It was wonderful. The event organizer was really friendly. We went last minute. It could have been a better day, admittedly.
It was cold and
It was
windy.
cold and windy. But
It's the
all in all,
weekend.
it was good.
It's the weekend. The Northeast wants to curse us with cold weekends and hot weekdays while we work, like to tease us.
I
You
mean,
know?
Yeah, it was so cold and windy that some people just left that
They
were
just
vending,
left.
and the very
Oh, that
next day it was a beautiful 70-degree day. The next day it was like
Curses.
Of
one
course.
day, one day.
Let me tell you,
Uh,
Mother Nature is bipolar and has something against us.
But I mean, I hear that there's like a monthly zine thing that happens in the city. Like
Oh,
somewhere. Have
cool.
you heard of this? A zine fair? A monthly zine fair?
Love
No?
it.
Yes, maybe.
I don't know
I'm
about the
gonna
zine fest.
I'm gonna
I,
try and see if I could locate what this is that I've heard rumors of, and maybe you'll
zine
catch
fair.
me there. But mostly messaging us on Instagram on his page because I often check out from Vita and Saturno, the Life on Saturn Comics Instagram page. Message him. He'll hook you up. If you message our website, it'll go to my email, and I'll get that eventually.
She said eventually.
Eventually.
I love the
He's
honesty though,
probably the
because again,
fastest one.
they're busy, folks. You see, that's what it is about creators. You know what I mean? They're busy. They're trying to bring about the best product there. And I love that they're showing to me right now how committed they are to making sure you get the best product available in your hands. Not even committing to shows and promotion of themselves, but rather making sure you first get your product, and then they worry about that. These are real creators. These are the type of people we need to be supporting within the community because they're building, building, building. And I know for a fact that they have a wonderful future. This is my very last question here now, right? If FENNEC could be anything other than a comic book, what would your dream for it to be? Animation, a show, a movie, or just remain a comic book?
I would love to see it be like a freaking Netflix show or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, animated or live action, whatever. I just want to. I would love to see it in motion. That's for sure.
There we go. Well, Papa, they want to give us a Netflix and chill type of moment, but actually watch it when you chill. Now, that naughty nonsense, okay? Come on, guys. Behave, behave. Wait till after it's done.
And if Atarashi Gakko could do the theme song, that'd be
Oh
really cool.
yeah. That's
Oh, manifest. Just manifest. This is why I asked that question because we are putting the words out into the universe, and as we manifest, things will happen. And you never know who's watching this. You never know.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's right. We got
so
Hope so.
hit them up. You know where you gotta hit them up. I'm gonna show it one last time, folks. But the notes are also below. Again, hit them up either on the website at lifeonsaturnart.com or please on Instagram and social. Hit up homie. He responds a lot better than Lydia, apparently. at lifeonsaturncomics.com. Show the love, support independent comics, support independent creators, support amazing power couples like Lydia and Dom. Thank you so much for taking an hour out of your busy schedule to chit chat with us at the Comic Crusaders channel today about FENNEC. You know what I mean? What y'all do, where y'all be, you know what I mean? And hopefully, I wish nothing for the best for you guys. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up next. This is a beautiful book. You know what I mean? And I'll be catching you on the cons. I'll be here in New York soon. So, hopefully we're running to each other or you come up north. I recommend Terrific Con for you for sure because that is a wonderful show. You got Northeast Comic Con with Gary. You got Wicked Con. You know what I mean? Plastic City Comic Con up here. So, ring, we want you up here. All right. So, mi gente, you know what it is. Make sure to support amazing creators. Support the Comic Crusaders channel. I'm Al Mega with the amazing Dom and Lydia. from Life on Saturn Comics. You know what it is. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Huepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.